As you guys probably know, I don't really play team games. With the release of the Code 3 2.0 patch, new DLC, and free weekend all happening a few weeks ago, this has boosted up player counts and brought in a lot of newbies who I figure by now may have finished their campaign runs. So I felt this would be a good time to jump into the most popular multiplayer mode for noobs, 4v4, and find out for myself what the new player experience is like. Is it really going to be filled with griefing, trash talk, long queue times, and imbalanced matchups like you often see complaints about on Reddit? I picked US Forces to start with because people often complain they are the worst faction in 4v4 and I have 0 games with them in this mode. I decided that I should play the game as well as I can, so any trash talk that gets directed my way would be completely undeserved, highlighting any issues with the players in this mode. To do this, I needed a good 4v4 build order. I often see complaints about how there are no guides with up-to-date build orders. For me as a guide maker, I feel it isn't worth my time to make a build order guide, just for it to be invalidated when the next patch happens. So here is how I suggest anyone gets an up-to-date build order. First, go to the leaderboards of the faction and mode you want to play. Choose a player from the top 10. I chose the rank 1 4v4 player who currently has the name Axis Unplayable, but is mainly known as Ray, or back in the Code 2 days went by Asher Blois. Ray also happens to be one of the best 1v1 players. Here are my matches against him in the 2019 Code 2 World Championships if you are interested. Go to the website codeb.com. Click on the Match Explorer at the top here, then type in the name of the player you selected from the leaderboards. Filter by the mode and faction you want, then scout through the results and find a decently long replay from that player. Click on Details, then go to the Build Orders tab and scroll to find the build of the player that you selected. Voila! Their build order and battle group selections are all laid out here for you to copy. This is the build order that I will be using. You may want to cross-reference this against another replay or two just in case they are doing this build against a specific faction or on a specific map. You can also download the replay, then put it into your replay folder and watch it if you want to learn more. If you found this service helpful, make sure to send some money to codeb.com to help them pay for the server costs of running this incredibly useful resource for the community. I am going to play this same build order for all 10 of my matches, which is when I will receive my ranking. Playing the same build order when you are a beginner can really help, because as you repeat it, you need to do less thinking about what to make and when, and that frees up brain power to focus on actually playing the game. I played my matches starting at 8 AM Sunday, New Zealand time, which lines up with European Saturday night, one of the most popular times to play. I disguised myself by changing my name, and I reverted the in-game profile cosmetics to the defaults. This eliminated the chance of somebody recognizing me and giving me special treatment in-game. I also went into appear offline mode on Steam, so that none of my friends would see me loading into Code 3 and figure out what I was up to. Now to the games. I will put all the games in full on my second channel, and I will link this in the video description, but here are some of the highlights. Oh, here we go, we're loading in, boys. Build order on my second monitor, so I might be looking across at that a couple times. Here we go. I will say that I'm not that used to not being blue. It's been such a long time since I've played team games. The setting I'm referring to is having player colors set to unique. I prefer this because it helps me notice when I am being attacked by 2 different enemies that happen to be playing the same faction, which you can't really notice when player colors are set to team-based. It can also help you communicate with your team. For example, let's attack pink, or we need to help green. You could combine this with the appropriate ping just in case your teammates have the wrong color setting on. One enemy left at the 14.5-minute mark, in spite of it being a close game. After that, the match became rather one-sided. Steamo.
Germans down to 75 points. Say it again. 75 points. Sector gone.
Oh my goodness. Black Dragon. Though guess what I didn't hear?
Victory point has fallen into enemy control.
Oh shit. Oh no!
You have 5 command points available.
Didn't hear it. I got V1 and I got nothing left. Overall, you know, I was a bit sloppy on the build. You know, trying to multitask sometimes. I lost track of what was happening over here. Especially, you know, yeah, that was like a pretty healthy building, like 3/4 health building. And I lost my... Oh, the building got flattened before I could react. You know, that kind of thing wouldn't really happen in 1v1s too often. You wouldn't just have 3 tanks rolling up on it without me knowing, but can happen in 4s. Let's go on to the next game. How did I do? Damage dealt, second on the team, damage taken, just second on the team. Alright, the store is hidden. That means the game's about to be loading in. It's the tell. You can't click on the store anymore. You're loading into a game. In game 2, my team dominated most of the map from very early on. So in these situations, you do want to keep pressing, keep pushing forwards, make it harder for your opponents. Close off angles.
We're tracking them on 300 points.
Woof, double humbers. These guys got some spicy stuff happening.
Enemy at 250 points. We're losing a fuel point.
Oh, yes! Had to stay stationary there to keep the range bonus active. And shortly after that attack failed, half of the enemy team left. I imagine after a failed surrender vote. Yeah, there we go. Probably a little bit overdue after their 2 teammates had left and we had 90% of the map control basically, but it's alright. I think, honestly, my team would have won this even if I was a complete terabad. It was one of those kind of matchups, which is interesting because we're only like a tiny bit of, you know, this is already plus my 41 MMR, so we're only like a tiny bit of MMR above them. So we're up against all Wehrmacht, so bazooka team early on, not going to be necessary. So here's a tip for you guys at the start of the game, after you've started your initial production and capture orders, look through the fog of war into your opponent's base. Here you can see the enemy's base splats on the ground, so you can see their base. This is a DAC base, and this is a Wehrmacht one. We can confirm this by turning the fog of war off. Wehrmacht and DAC. So with this knowledge, you can see that, okay, I'm in this lane, I'm going to be up against like a DAC player in my lane, so I'm going to need an early bazooka. So this can really help you tailor your early build order to match what your opponent is doing. For more advice like this, be sure to check out my micro tips videos. Game 3 was very static early on, and the enemy had loads of machine guns. I think Ray had a second engineer in his build. I mean, I'd be tempted to build a sniper right about now. Is that crazy? So I made my first major build order deviation and went for a sniper instead of getting paratroopers. I'm just going to do it. Alright, let's see how I can do with a sniper in 4s, eh? Ooh, sniper on sniper action. Oh, counter sniping, eh? Let's see how it's going to be. Shit. Revealed anyway.
Our sniper's not responding. MIA.
We had a strong grip on middle and bottom. which led to a large VP lead early on. The enemy ramped up their artillery to counter us, and we started to lose ground.
75 points.
Double
Victory
Vesper?
point has fallen into enemy.
Might be worth going for like a
Captured a victory.
kind of mission to try kill those Vesper.
They pushed us off a sector.
Pop up a recon loiter.
Recon run by request. We'll loiter the target. Stand by.
Oh, how did he have vision of me back there? Still fine. But ultimately it was too late and we closed the game on VPs before they could turn it around. It looks like my team's gonna lock it up anyway.
And our victory point. We're losing it.
It's done. The battle is ours. Stand down.
Okay, all DAC players in the loadout here, so bazookas gonna be needed early on. Oh, they're already down here. It's gotta be a Crutchitson then.
Weapon paradrops are ready to go.
That's us. Once we capture that point,
That was not the right move to make, buddy.
capture and hold. Capture and hold. Scout ahead.
Oh, he's so lucky.
Develop and hold.
Wow, he's lucky. In Game 4, my team did a really good job countering the DAC ultralight vehicle pressure with a Dingo, Weasel, bazookas and riflemen. Pretty good start for the team again.
Pushed us off a sector.
Oh my god, these bazookas today. They're not my friend. Oh, but the 75mm M3 is. That's my boy.
Away from us.
Reverse us out, driver.
A recon tractor, it seems like.
Our line is collapsing. Enemy taking our points.
No. Oh, he's away, he's away, he's away. And we kept that momentum going, though the Axis made a big push right at the end.
One of our munitions points being neutralized. Keep up the pressure. They only have 25 points left.
Alright, promise from not having my Hellcat here in time.
M3 half-track has been destroyed.
What? Got my half track over there?
Points.
Oops. Oh boy, that's a big blob.
Battle is ours.
Didn't matter. Oh, got a little bit scary at the end there. Yeah, again, I think this is another game where my team was just very good. I will say that even me, a high-level player and Code 3 veteran, was feeling a bit overwhelmed in the first 3 or so matches. The combination of strictly copying an unfamiliar build order, the change of pace compared to 1v1 on top of maps that I had never played on before was a bit of a shock to my system. I wasn't immediately way better than my teammates, but now I was getting comfortable. Prepare for an early bazooka again. Game 5 was yet another very strong start in all areas of the map for my team. Oh, we completely roasted them. The coastal players' blob attempts were shut down by machine guns, and my bazooka managed to knock out the Crutchitson early on. Yeah, they surrendered. Oh, that was a absolute stomping. Wow. Easy. I think that's the first piece of chat I've seen the entire time we've been playing. 5 games in, and that's the first chat I've seen. Somebody says easy when they surrender. By default, Code 3 has chat turned off, so if you want to communicate with other players beyond simple pings, turn it on here in the settings menu. Alright, game number 6. What do we got here? All USF is 2 and 2. So the drawback of all USF is you don't have bishops, you don't have artillery, so hopefully one of my teammates making the whiz bang. I spawned on the top side of Seuss Wetlands, where the city is stuff, and there were some paradrop shenanigans to start. That's my boy. Too early for a flamethrower, so I'm not too worried about that. Can build a mortar pit myself, maybe back here. This kind of mass garrison play with loads of mortars isn't a style I enjoy playing very much. Let's go for Vet 1 straight away. It's out of my
Territory
range.
sector claimed by the enemy.
We had a stronghold on both the top and bottom areas of the map, and I sent the occasional unit to mid to keep the VP pressure up. Ooh, that died fast.
Reported killed in action.
Whenever you are ahead like this, remember to plant mines on spots the enemy may try to flank you from. Sad one. Uh-oh, my bazooka's backfiring on me.
Just a ricochet. Keep firing on that goddamn AT. Crew, get it done.
The enemy is running.
Didn't matter.
Jail, retreat.
Don't think it was my bazooka, right? I didn't lose my bazookas. Must have been my teammates. My mortar pit went to town that game, I think. I wasn't microing it too hard after the start, but I was just constantly firing. To Veer to Dak. In Game 7, I made the engineer before the bazooka team, and boy did I regret it. And Dak player down here. Bazooka, bazooka. These situations are tough. You don't want to give up too much ground. Trying to avoid outright retreating with this here. But you also don't want units to die on retreat to a 250 chase down. Ooh, let's let retreat though.
Making this thing moving.
Lost a scout squad.
Make it quick. Anyone got eyes on him? Thanks, squad. Advance.
Get off. Engineers.
That's why you need a bazooka early. I used my scouts to spot him from afar, then attacked while he was trying to repair. Catches repairs while he's out of the build vehicle.
We're in contact with an armored car. Move your
Bazookas do almost no damage to infantry. Some prioritize vehicles, so it only shoots the bazookas at
Well, look what the cat
where you want it to. So I often leave them on prioritized vehicles, so they are always loaded and ready to fire when a vehicle shows up. This was one of my worst starts, but for some reason the enemy moved into the middle. This allowed me to get a really strong position set up in these buildings.
reverse this out, driver. Contact. Get down. AT. Evasive action.
Skystream boys are eager to make this drop.
Just
While you march. Grenade. Grab cover.
which I maintained control of in spite of getting 2-on-1'd.
No round 2 challenge.
We're tracking them on 300 points.
USB deck just turned itself off. I lost sound there for a couple seconds. And I held here for the rest of the game. GG.
Victory is ours.
I mean, the mortar half tracks, I could definitely imagine this causing problems for a lot of people. These double mortar half tracks around all these buildings and stuff, if you don't have as good a micro as me. But yeah, again, seemed like my teams were doing very solid. I don't entirely know why Pink like rotated off the bottom, where it felt like he kind of had like a mobility edge on me. It's loads of wide open space down here to move, and then just kind of ran into the meat grinder in the middle. Like, sure, helped out a little bit for their control in the middle for a while, but just meant I dominated this entire, like, you know, almost quarter of the map just by myself. Oh boy. What's going on with these guys? Why they've got both really bad load times. The exact same point they've got a blockage. This is going to be the first drop of the series. Often in 1v1s, the games load so quickly, I can't even tab into. I'm usually tabbed out. I can't even tab in time. Miss like the first couple of seconds of the game. Not in so much in fours. Usually going to have a few stragglers. So far, though, I don't think any games have gone past about 25 minutes, right? They've generally been pretty short. I think some of those early games, I wasn't the best player on my team. I feel like I've kind of adapted to 4v4s a little bit at this stage. Smoke drop blocks his vision. Nice. We really locked this side down super hard. That felt like a competent performance by me. There we go. What was that? 7 matches in now? I feel like I had a good game, like, of me playing.
Engineers here! Go! Stick together!
Disperse! Stay low!
Get moving!
Better now.
Engineers, get moving!
Still a strong start. Because I didn't have to go for a bazooka. I got quite a lot of manpower to spam. Spam units right now. I might bring these guys up to the front lines with this
Check the
truck.
line. Capture point under attack.
This time using them as a transport. Game 9, the enemy in my area was making some nice plays. Oh, sad for him. That I imagine will give players in this ranking bracket some trouble. What? It used this even though I didn't even see them retreat. Oh, it's sad.
300 points remaining for the Germans.
I surrendered already. Oh boy, okay. Looks like my team were doing very well on the top side as well. I know this guy. He's one of my Patreon backers. That's funny. He has no idea. Loose string. Not taking it easy on him, though. Game 10 is where I saw my first bit of battle group coordination between teammates. Black Gold. First game on Black Gold. Maybe around the 1400 ELO bracket, players start getting more serious. There's Cloud Core. He's close to me. Next lane across, so we will be skirmishing a little bit. Oh, that lag is crazy. Oh, that's some really bad lag. This 2-on-1 made things intense for a while.
Watch your cover!
Skystream boys are eager to make their drop.
Let's go!
Clearing a path. We'll find a way.
Let's get to it, Paris! Ground infantry!
There he comes.
Infantry! Get to cover!
Cloud Core's coming in.
Make a decision! Stop here!
They pushed us off a sector.
Ground infantry! Just keep fighting! Enemy infantry!
Abtract deploying as ordered.
Combat engaging frontline elements!
Where'd you need a 30 cal?
Stop already! Engineers! Take an enemy fire!
Bring the gun around!
Shoot the open! Get moving!
But I just managed to hold on until reinforcements arrived. In about 3 of my 10 games, I experienced some pretty bad lag. Holy lag. Maybe we're playing on the European server. I wonder if that's where it lags for me. Double Stuarts from the side. These guys are going to get swept off. I could imagine a surrender here pretty shortly. No mercy, even for Patreon backers, I'm afraid, in this challenge. Looks like the other side did very, very well also. Even more control than we had. Silver 1. Tear up. So I'm officially ranked now. Was that my... I think that was my 9th game. Let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, only 9. I thought I had only played 9 games. And the most recent match wasn't showing in my history yet. 9. Alright, we'll play one more, because I plan to play 10. And that'll wrap up the challenge. Have I already played 10 games though? I might have already played 10. We'll play one more just for good measure.
We can't stay here, boys. Come on.
He's going for the building, so I won't steal it from him with my
Sector lost.
low impact scout.
He's
He's gonna have a machine gun back here somewhere.
heading to the lookouts. I'm making their move.
Infantry reporting in.
Go! Stick infantry! Get to cover!
There it is. Camouflage machine guns as well. Oh, we got a snare off on it. That's good. If I finish with the small arms, I should probably help. Oh, they're throwing the towel already. Okay. Couple of short ones, eh, to finish things off. All right. Still gaining plus 22 ELO for a win there. So I finished my 11 games with an ELO rating of 1389, which is currently rank 713 on the US Forces 4v4 leaderboard. Here are the rest of the stats from this session. My average queue time was 2 minutes and 35 seconds, which I think is pretty good, though this did seem to get longer as the day progressed. The tail end of the challenge was edging into the off-peak hours, and my ranking had been climbing, perhaps narrowing the amount of players in my bracket. My average match length was 14 minutes and 51 seconds. The longest was the first, which was 24 minutes and 42 seconds. I was sad that I never got past the 30-minute mark into a proper late-game battle. Of the 9 maps that are currently in the 4v4 map pool, I played on 8 of them, missing out on steps. Calculating the average ELO of both teams, the smallest difference in the match was 5, which happened to be in the first game, and the largest difference was 124 in the 10th game. The average ELO difference over the 11 games was 56, and my team had the higher ELO average in 9 of the 11 games. I personally wouldn't complain about an ELO difference of 300, but much beyond that, and it starts to feel like you don't have much hope. I think the major problems with the matchmaking in Co3 start to surface when you are in the high ranks and or playing at off-peak times. This can lead to some lopsided matchups and long queue times, because the player base of Co3 is still rather small. That said, my matchmaking experience in this session was very good. Throughout the entire 11 matches, there were only a handful of chat messages. An enemy complaining about their team and some GGs after the match. A teammate saying easy after the enemy surrendered, and a little bit of coordinating between my teammates. Nothing that I would classify as problematically toxic. Though this may be because I won all 11 of my matches, and toxicity is more likely to show up when your team is losing. Also because I kept winning, my ELO climbed rapidly, and perhaps this propelled me out of the most toxic bracket of players. If you do run into a toxic player or griefer, come to the player list menu, report and block them. You can also do this at the end game screen. Though be aware, this only blocks communication with them, not the ability to be matched up with them. In total, my new player experience was very good, with fast and even matchmaking, and I fought alongside great teammates. Here are some tips if you are looking to jump into Co3 multiplayer. If you are a beginner, but you're not really interested in playing the campaign, then I would suggest starting out with skirmishes against the AI. Use the maps of the mode you want to jump into first, so you can get some experience on them. Don't be afraid to use the tactical pause feature, which is on spacebar by default, if you are feeling overwhelmed or need some time to read while you are initially learning. But if your end goal is PvP, then don't play against the AI for too long, as it might do some dumb stuff that teaches you bad habits. If you want some more time fighting bots, then graduate to an AI mod. I hear this one is much improved over the default AI. My opinion is that once you have a good handle on what the different units do and what you need to make to counter the enemy's variety of units, plus you feel comfortable with your tech tree and battle group, then it is time to enter multiplayer. If you want a friendlier start to the multiplayer experience, you could perhaps try to group up with your friends or use a looking for group channel like this one in the official Discord. As a 1v1 main myself, I will of course recommend you play 1v1. There is a more direct response between what you do and the result of a game in 1v1. Learning from this leads to much faster improvement as a player. 1v1 also opens up territory control gameplay
Territory out of supply. They've cut us off.
and unit positioning decisions that you don't get to experience in 4v4.
Secure the point.
Plus, 1v1 tends to distance you from some of the elements players like to complain about, like blobbing or artillery spam. Though 1v1 is often daunting for players because it stretches your multitasking. Usually you have your units spread across a much wider area than 4v4, which can be tough to keep track of. This is where using the tactical map can really help. I shouldn't forget the team aspect. When you are a beginner, you might hope your teammates can carry you. This fallback can make team games the less daunting option when beginning your multiplayer journey. But don't be one of those players who only ever lose because their teammates suck. Avoiding ownership like this may shield your ego, but it isn't a good mentality for development. Wrapping this up, what was your entry into Co3 multiplayer like? Was it better or worse than mine? And would you like me to repeat this format, but perhaps with a different faction, game mode, or time slot? Let me know in the comments down below. A huge thank you to all of my Patreon backers, and if you're enjoying my content, I hope you consider coming on board.